It's actually been quite a while since I've released the last podcast. Um, you know, I've really struggled with the idea of who to really bring onto the show. In terms of interviews and stuff like that, I've been approached with names, um, some recommendations, and I haven't gotten to asking these people. I've asked like a few, but like it's just like schedule conflicts and stuff like that. It's just been like really hard to like find a certain time where you know they're not streaming and I'm not streaming because it's usually gets to the point where it's just like if I'm streaming, like they're not busy, and then um if they're streaming and they're like I'm not busy, and it's just like we're always kind of just like missing the mark. So um So for some of the people out there who are wondering, you know, who am I going to bring onto the show next, and like, what when is that going to happen? Uh, to be honest, yes, I will probably get around to that soon. I got a few more names on the list. It's just all in the matter of just lining things up, and things got to feel right too when the timing hits. So we'll let you guys know definitely when that if and when that happens. So just for that one. Um, so as you guys are probably guessing from the title of the episode, we're going to be talking about numbers and when you're a streamer, and especially when you're starting out, even till now. So I've been streaming for over 3.5 years now, which is a long time. If you come to think about it, like when people think about streaming, like for most, for most new streamers, it's just like there's always a transition period where you get to a certain point and you kind of reevaluate yourself and you're just like, where do I go from here? And what strides do I need to make for my content? To improve things, whether it be equipment, production, personality, and everything else in between. And because like when you start off as a streamer in the beginning, you're always kind of thinking it's just like, okay, well, I've watched my favorite streamers do this. I've watched streamer A pull up 2K numbers on a stream, just doing the same things I do, like plays Call of Duty, and isn't really good at the game, but 2,000 people sit there and watch streamer A just doing just doing stuff. So you know I can do the same thing, and I'll definitely say it where it's just like, okay, well, if you come in with that mindset, it's just like, if they can do it, I can do it too, and it's just like you're not gonna make it very far. There's a whole lot of things that I've learned over the years about becoming a streamer because for me becoming a streamer, I've never watched a single stream. Not one. I'll be brutally honest. I've never sat through one stream ever prior to becoming a streamer. Like I've watched YouTube videos because I've come from being a YouTuber, a guy who tried his hand in vlogging, tried uploading DDR videos, and I was just like, okay, well, like this is my limit. Like I've accepted the outcome where like here's where it begins and this is where it stops. So I've when I bought my PlayStation, and then you discover it's like, oh my god, it comes with broadcasting options, and then you just give it a shot. And when you first watch all your footage, when you first sit through it, you're always awkward, and it's going to be something that you're going to be struggling with within like your first few months. Depending. I mean, everyone has a different learning curve, and everyone has a different, I guess, approach. But I would definitely say where it's just like, okay, well, um, you know, Just have a camera, play video games, sit there, talk about things, do things. And you don't know where to start. Where you all you're doing is just playing video games, and there's like, especially when you're a beginning streamer or whatever, and especially if it's on a landscape like YouTube. Because like when you're on PlayStation, like the only three venues that you're given is like YouTube, Twitch, and Daily Motion, I believe is the third one. So, obviously YouTube, me being familiar with YouTube, I already had a channel on YouTube, so I was like, okay, let's just throw all the eggs into one basket and, just give it a shot. So we give it a shot, and like, for what it was just like, I didn't really think about growth. I just thought about, hey, let's just, you know, throw the broadcast on, and whatever happens, happens. If we get interactions, we get interactions, and if, you know, go where it goes from there. And you just sit awkwardly in front of the camera for like hours on end. You know, half the time you're not even talking because like there's no interaction, there's no chat, like there's no visitors. Like you get people who pop in, like you get excited, when you see a number blip up on your screen. You're just like, oh, we got one viewer, oh, we got two viewers. And then as much as you want to try strike up conversation, and then you know it either happens or it doesn't. And like, you can't force conversation. The best thing you can, you can just always hope out of it is just like, okay, well, like, I've said hello, I've welcomed my guests, and it's just like, okay, they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk, it's fine. uh it's difficult too to kind of maintain things, because it's like, okay, well, now I'm sitting here, I'm playing video games, I'm trying to maintain conversation, I'm trying to keep butts in seats, and what do I need to do that? Because in the beginning, like, everyone starts out the same way, but there's always got to be an it factor. Like, I'm not saying it's either you have it or you don't. It's something like you can have, and it's something you could develop. So don't think it's like one of those things just like you have it or you don't, and then you just throw in the towel and then you're just done with it. The best thing I can recommend is like, if you have favorite content YouTubers, like, don't always look at the numbers. Don't always look at it like, okay, well, like, my favorite YouTuber has like, 2,000 viewers like every broadcast, and it's just like, I can't pull in one. Why? You got to look at the reasons why people stay for the broadcast, why people decide to, pull in and keep their butts in their seats. And the primary reason and the top reason is personality, relativity. Like, how well do you connect with that streamer? Is there something about their presence? Is there something about their aura, something about their character that says, you know what, I resonate with that, and this is why I'm here? Because ideally, because over time you build a relationship with that person. It's like investing into a date. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys meet up and you guys talk, and it's gonna be awkward for a little bit, but over time, like, you guys develop a relationship. You go into the stream all the time. You're saying hi, like, you're building a rapport with your favorite streamer, and then over time, you get to build rapport with the community, and therefore, like, the best things you take out of that is just like, not only am I communicating with my, with this streamer whom I've known for X amount of time, but now I'm an not integral, but I feel like, I'm like, a great member of this wonderful community, which I feel warm and welcome to every single time. And so, things go on from there. Because a lot of people, most of the time, is just like, when you watch people, and you can be honest, and it's to be like, okay, well, I've watched this streamer and they're not good at video games, but I enjoy watching them because they're amazing people. And that's something you have to come into realization, where it's just like, maybe I don't have to be good at video games, I just need to be, relatable. There's, because like, for one person to like, or for one streamer to relate to 100, like, there's another thousand that don't relate to that streamer. Like, because like sometimes one person isn't for everybody. As much as you like that one person or that streamer, probably doesn't vibe with another person, and that's okay. Most important thing is, like, you don't become the person you idolize or the person you value. That you become your own person out of it. Because I feel like with a lot of people, and especially with young people these days, is that they come to a point of emulation where it's just like, I want to become the next PewDiePie. I want to become the new Jacksepticeye. I want to become the new Markiplier, or, I want to be the new H2O Delirious, where it's just like, something about polarizing about their character, something polarizing about their content, where people again seem to emulate or want to develop to become their own. And these people are such unique characters where it's just like you can't become another one like that one person, because that one person has already built their identity to become who they are, where they are, due to growth. Like, they've grown themselves into that role because, like, sometimes it is a gimmick, sometimes it is character, but it's something that's a part of themselves. And you cannot take someone's identity and make it your own. You know what I mean? So for a lot of those people who are just thinking, well, like, if I'm just crazy wild out, like, like H2O Delirious, take his mannerisms, take his personality, adapt it as my own. All you are is a copy of someone who you aren't. And people can't relate to that because the first thing they're going to say, most of them are probably going to say is just like, it's obvious and apparent that you're a fan. Or it's obvious and apparent that, you're not yourself, that you're becoming someone else. And people aren't dumb. People immediately pick up on cues and everything like that and just say, okay, well, like, this person's just a wannabe, such and such person. And when becoming a content creator, you don't want to become someone else. You don't want to, you don't want to, identify with someone else's identity. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, I want to be just like this person. And once you get there, it's just like, where is the part of you that put yourself into the content that made people related or like, likable towards you? And again, part of the journey is maintaining numbers. So me coming from YouTube, again, I never really cared for it. Like, all you want to see is your likes go up and your view count go up per video. During live streams is a whole lot different because people will come and go. Like, it's just a revolving door of people just coming in and out of your workplace. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like window shopping. Like, have you ever just gone to a mall and just walked into one of your favorite stores but just not buy anything? You're just looking at the stuff and it's just like, yeah, I like that, I like that, I like that, cool, and I'm gone. It's the same thing with like watching a streamer. It's just like, you're going in there, because the first thing you see is like your favorite game being played. So like, let's just say Dead by Daylight, Call of Duty. It's like, ooh, I see like, a Call of Duty stream. I'm just gonna kind of walk in there, kind of take a look around, see if I like it, cool and all, and I'm gonna just be on my way. And a lot of the difficulties into, I guess, like maintaining viewership is, again, like, for you can get about maybe on your first stream, and I'm just ballparking numbers, this isn't just a definite thing, let's just say 60 views total, but like out of that 60 views total, you might have had maybe 2-3 people stay for your stream, but like a lot of people just came in and out just to view your content, see what it's like, and then just like, be on their way. And yeah, then it's weird because now I talk about this like a veteran now, where I'm just like, okay, You know, for those who are starting out, like for me in the beginning, I was just like, okay, like, you know, it's awesome. I have like 60 views. Yeah, like, you know, I never really count on it. Like, you know, I would count on like 5 at most. That means you're kind of doing something right, but at the same time, you just gotta go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, got 60 people. I mean, 2 or 3 of them kind of stayed. Strike up some really good conversations. And, like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna see these people again, but what can I do to improve content? Anytime you end a broadcast, always go back and watch your content. Always. And I say this because, like, I say this to certainty is because you have to look at where you excelled and where you stumbled. And you're gonna have to accept and come to terms that, like, you know, you're gonna have to improve all the time. I'm still improving to this day, 3.5 years moving forward. Like, you know, my live streams over on D Live, like, you know, have picked up, you know, exponentially, where, like, you know, a lot of the days that I stream on there, I'm always ending up on front page because, like, you know, of consistency and because of the community. YouTube not so much anymore, but, like, you know, when we upload, you know, videos of like Among Us or Party Animals, or when a new podcast hits, and, you know, you see numbers go up, but, you know, like these are different types of numbers, you know what I mean? So let's just say for your YouTube video, if you're not like a live streamer but you want to upload content, when you're, if you're, let's say, um, like doing an unboxing video, or you're doing a podcast, or you're uploading like a video montage of what you played the other day with your friends. Um, because with YouTube videos, it's a whole lot different than live streams. Live streams is just like you're always on the go. Like that's it's all improv and it's all on the fly, and it's always go 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 go. You know what I mean? With YouTube videos, you can just, you know, I'm not saying BS it, but like you can edit your content and make it the best version, you know, that you wanted it to be. You have time to do that. So for, you know, for when, you know, you compare being a YouTuber to being a streamer, two similar worlds but very different at the same time. Whereas like YouTube, you have time to edit, and you have as much time as you want to edit that content to make it a better version of that content that you want it to be, something that you would want to watch. Then you would be a streamer, and then as a streamer, like, you know, you know, you don't have a script, you know, you don't have, you know, editing or anything that you do on the fly. Like everything is just like, you know, on spot. You know, you have to interact and you have to game, you have to do everything, and it's a lot of things to keep up with. But again, always go back to improving your content. Always go back to view your content again. Like even if it's a YouTube video compared to like a live stream. And yes, there are days where I will stream anywhere between 4 hours to 11 hours. And if it's an 11-hour stream, I will sit through all the 11 hours just to see how the stream went, to see how my interactions went, to see how my content was. And here's the things, if you want to make a checklist of what to improve on, like, you know, let's just say video quality was, you know, 480p, the best quality I can go with. Let's jack that up to 720p next time. Was the audio quality good? Was I too quiet? Could I be a little bit louder next time? The positioning of the camera, was it too big? Was it, like, you know, overwhelming my screen? Should I make it smaller? Should I make it bigger? There, like, you know, certain overlays that I can use in my content as well. Like, there's always so much you could think of to prepare for, and that's always something you can always do when you go back to watching your past broadcasts. Because you, like, production is one thing, but then again, how your interactions go is something always to improve on. Because, you know, for that one interaction where you have 20 viewers come in and sit down and just, like, you know, vibing out, just, like, you know, wilding out and having fun, you know, what could you do to put 20 more people into seats and having them come in and enjoy your content? Now, I could share a lot of advice that I've developed for 3.5 years, because it's gotten to a point where now, like, I am technically a veteran, even though, I don't feel like a big streamer. I don't feel like a small one either, though. I'm not a big household name, but I felt like I've developed, quite an identity for myself over time, where even to this day, where we're always constantly growing and we're developing a larger community by interacting with others. So, sorry. Jeez, I should have water, but I don't. Oh, wait, I do. So, like, when you're thinking about interactions, like, you always want to acknowledge your guests first. First and foremost, always acknowledge your guests. I know it's kind of hard when you're so into your game and so into your content, where it's just like, your focal point is there because you want to get through that one part. Also, at the same time, though, I feel like it's not the most important thing. So if you're thinking that I have to really nail this part, I have to go super try hard on this one point in this certain game, you have plenty of times to do it over, depending on the game. For me, the most important part is acknowledging the people who come to your stream, because the people who come to your stream are the people who could become a part of your community long term, where they will be supporting you and your content and your community long term. So it does matter to me, like, either the person's been supporting me for 3 years, 3 days, 3 hours, 3 minutes, 3 seconds. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the community for. The moment you pop up and you say hi and you want to be involved with this community is the moment that I acknowledge you, and the moment I want you to stay. What am I going to do to make you stay? Just talk to you. A lot of people come in, a lot of people just want to talk. A lot of people will come from different communities. A lot of people will have a lot of stigma of what they don't like and what they do like. And you can't change that for everybody, because, the best thing you can do is, again, everything I've kind of learned is like a bit in sales, but at the same time, it's just like, it's all personality, where, just talk to the people and just see where they're coming from. Because everybody has something that they want to escape, or has something that they want to talk about. And it's okay to open them up to that. So if someone comes in and in your stream says, hey, how's it going? Like, I like this game. Touch up on that. It's just like, okay, cool. Like, well, I like this game too. I just picked it up. Not really great at it, but, I appreciate you come here and just watching me play. And just keep going on from there. Sometimes it's okay to act, well, not act, but like, it's okay to be like the person to even go to your viewers and say, well, since I'm new to this game, you might have a little bit of an advice to bestow upon me. Like, like put them in the hot seat. You know what I mean? Because you're in the hot seat for so long as a streamer. Like, you're just playing the games and you're sitting there in front of the camera. But, I think what most viewers like is like, that one moment in the hot seat where it's just like, oh, well, like, I'm being acknowledged, and now they're asking me for advice. And I'm not saying it's a for sure tactic, but it's something, again, it's finding something that people can relate to, or finding something that people can grasp onto, and just come to acknowledge. So for those, like, who are looking for that escape, who are looking, like, for building interaction, sometimes they don't get that anywhere else, and especially when you're sitting on a stream with 2,000 viewers and 2,000, like, and let's just say 500 of them are just sitting there flooding, not flooding in the worst way possible, but 500 people are chatting to this one guy, and you come in here with high spirits and just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna come in here, like, say hi to everyone, say hi to my favorite streamer, and see how the day goes. And sometimes, like, your message doesn't even get across because it gets drowned out in a sea of 500 people out of, like, talking in a 2,000 viewer chat, and that thing's gonna keep going and going and going and going until that message disappears. And it's hard because I've, like, as one of those people over time, even myself included, after learning how to become a streamer, is sitting through streams, trying to develop connections, trying to see what it's like to become the viewer in the streams. And it sometimes it does feel like it sucks. I can relate, where it's just like, you're just saying, hey, how's it going, like, not saying, hey senpai, acknowledge me, sort of thing, you know what I mean? It's just like you want to say hello, and you want to try to strike up conversation. Sometimes it doesn't even happen, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here. Some people are okay with just sitting there, but then, like, some people are, like, really chatty, and some people are just like, they like to try to build a conversation. And it does feel like disheartening when, like, when you go to any chat, and it doesn't have to be like a 2,000 viewer chat. Like, sometimes it can be like a 32 viewer chat and stuff like that, where it's just like, you go in and you just get, like, you get ignored, but then, like, it's just something that's just like, well, like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then you go back, and that person goes back to the stream regulars, where, like, and just keep talking with them. And the thing I can say about that is, like, don't let that get to you. Like, a lot of us, and I can't speak for everybody though, but for me, for example, like, if you were to come to my stream, and let's just say there was a time where, like, I did acknowledge you, but, like, it just kind of fell flat. Not immediately, but just a little afterwards. You know, don't be disheartened, and it's just like, don't take it to heart. You know, a lot of streamers most of the time, like, are just maintaining relations, or, like, are so, sometimes it's not even the game. Sometimes, like, it's conversation itself that, like, before you kind of jumped in there, it's just like, they were in the middle of, like, an interesting conversation of some sort. Sometimes it's okay to pick up the cue and just say, become a part of the conversation. You can ask someone else in the chat rather than the streamer themselves of what's going on in the chat, and just, like, and want to become a part of the conversation. And it's okay to do that. Don't be too intrusive, and don't be too invasive. But, just listen. And it's okay just to listen. You don't have to be directly involved with everything over time. But it's okay just to, just to kind of sit there and listen, and just, feel like you're a part of the conversation and not be directly involved. So with numbers, a lot of people worry about, when they start streaming, when they, to this day in streaming, 3.5 years later, the views, when I first started off as a streamer, we averaged out, like, five active viewers out of a total of, like, 50, 60 total viewers, when we first started off here on YouTube. And then we drastically went down to, like, let's just say 15 total viewers, with an average of 0 active viewers. Like, people see and acknowledge your content, but they're not staying for it, and you just don't know why. And at that point, I would say the majority would give up. A lot of them would just say, I've tried streaming, I hate it, I don't like what I see, and I'm giving up. Um, I thought about it. I was also in that moment of time in that hot seat, sitting there saying, you know what, I'm tired of, 0 active viewers. I'm sitting here talking to nobody. No new subscribers, no new followers. Clearly I'm doing something wrong. Clearly I'm not that great. Mm, you know, let's just throw in the towel. Pack everything up and just, you know, take up something else. And that, at that point of time, you know, a lot of people would make that hasty decision to just immediately drop out. But for me, I felt like I was like a year and a half in at that point, where I felt like I did pour a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of emotional value into my production and my community, where things did pick up but drastically fell off, and you were just stuck in a dark void of obscurity where you don't know where to go from here. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to improve on, because day after day after day you're just met with donuts. And I say that in zeros, not the actual donut. As many times as you go to the drawing board, or as many times as you wake up and say, today's going to be a better day, I'm going to be a better me, and just go on stream and just knock it out of the park. Then you come back with a 0. As a person who made it out of it, sometimes I would look at different venues. So I said, maybe YouTube isn't working out, I'm going to try Twitch. And then Twitch didn't work out. And then, I went back to YouTube, and, we picked up mildly, and things got a little better because of perseverance, tenacity, integrity, and, the will not to quit, because a lot of people are quick to quit when things aren't going right, without putting in the work, without going to the drawing board and improving. And that goes for anything. It's not just streaming, it's like video games as well. And this is why like there's so many, pro esports players with the mentality that they come with, is because, as frustrated as people get with gaming, but yet, there is always something to improve on. There is always something to learn. And that's always something you're going to have to do when you take the time of your own time to go back and look at your failures and say, this is where I messed up, and this is where I need to improve. I did realize, over the time of, coming back to YouTube, where, we did get rated, I never expected it. And yes, if you guys want to know the names of the people who helped me reinvigorate my love and my passion for content creation, for streaming, and these names that I drop are the sole reason why I'm still here. And it's because the moment that, when I felt like I felt like I've hit rock bottom and that things weren't gonna get better, these people threw me a lifeline, and these people said, your content's great, you're great, and I look forward to playing with you, or I look forward to watching you again. Two people who've supported me from the beginning of my journey, that stuck with me even through my darkest times, Galfriend and Benny Plays. Two of them, who were children, who are children, or who were children. When I met them, between the ages of 13 to 15 years old, literal children, teenagers, people who deem, who call them squeakers, or are, have no place in society and whatnot. And a lot of people like shun people like teenagers and children out of the communities because, like, of just sheer annoyance. And um the one thing I will definitely say is just, like, for a lot of people, especially grown-ups, who make fun of kids just for being kids and are turning away children, are the reason why they grow up to be the way that they do. Because the one thing I've learned by being a streamer over time is it doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are. The moment you sit in front of a microphone, the moment you sit in front of a camera, the moment you hit the start broadcast button, is the moment you become a person of influence. Doesn't matter what your numbers are. It doesn't matter how great of a presence you have or how less of a presence you have. Because there's always someone out there that's listening. There's always someone out there that's watching. So, the one thing I wanted to do, it doesn't matter the viewer, whether it be Gal, whether it be Benny, is to be a source of influence, but also to be a source of morality and just, like, parent them. You know what I mean? If there's something you don't like about kids, because of, like, how loud they squeak or how much they talk or how annoying they are, tell them. Tell them. But don't tell them in the meanest way possible. Like, you just want to say, hey, look, like, you just want to dial it down a bit. Like, I get you're excited, relate with them. Like, I was excited there once too and stuff like that. And, you have to acknowledge that, like, kids are going to be kids, and that's what that's what it's going to be. But the best thing you can be for these kids is to be that role model, be that parent-like figure that helps shape and mold these children to become, productive members of society, to help them become a better version of themselves, because you have that power to do it. For people to watch them grow and succeed in life, to have that relationship with your viewers is something that I've come to appreciate over the years. For, like, let's just say for Benny, for example, getting out of middle school and going to high school and watching Gal, like, where she sent me graduation photos because she graduated high school, you just come to realization of how much time has went by and the friendship that you build between people. It's not just becoming, streamer and viewer anymore. Now you're friends. That these people have sat by you and supported you for so long. Like, and you're watching, they're watching you grow and succeed, as well as you watching them grow and succeed into wonderful people, wonderful human beings. A lot of people lose sight of that when they develop an ego, or when they look at other things that matter. From day one till this day, and that's always been my goal, is to be that person, who can welcome anybody. And I say this every stream, when I hit front page, when I don't reach front page, for people who have been with me for a while, for people who have just joined me for 3 seconds. I will always tell them, welcome to my stream. I want this community to be like a second home for everyone, where everyone, like, is, feeling like it's their second home, free from prejudice, for male, female question marks, for anybody between the ages of, like, 3 years old to 99 years old, any nationality out there. You could be Canadian, American, German, French, Danish, Australian, Chinese, Korean, Indian, You can be, you can be a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, and you could, it doesn't matter, what your circumstances is. You're always gonna have a home here if you feel like you want this to be your home. You want to welcome people. It doesn't matter who they are, because a lot of people feel like they don't have a place to belong and want to find that. Be that source for them. And be that source of inspiration for people. Be that person in their lives that makes that difference. Because you could be responsible for that. So for Benny and for Gal to stick with me for the 3.5 years that I've been streaming. The other names, that are important to my growth. One being Kamimi Q, who's we call her Cammy. Kiki Diamond, all the way from Germany, and Azralin. So, for Cammy, for example, she happened to stumble through my stream through recommendations, and when we bumped into each other, she stopped by, she enjoyed the content, and we started to talk and just kind of bonded in from there. And she felt like, because we're both PlayStation players, we can probably play Dead by Daylight together at some point. And it's amazing. So I was just like, look, as a content creator, you're always looking to build relationships, to to friendships, to collaborations, to whatever it may be. She was definitely the reason why I stuck to being on YouTube when I felt like throwing in the towel. Because that lifeline that she threw when she stopped by the stream and just just being herself, being friendly, and then we got to the point where we actually started playing together, and through her I met some amazing people as well, whom some of which I still talk to this day. For Kiki, she stopped by when I was doing Twitch. Just by I think it was either by Twitch or by YouTube, one of the two. And it's by circumstance that she also stopped by from recommendations and just said I really like you and like your content. And then we started playing together. And then through her I got to meet a lot of amazing people from her communities as well, whom I still talk to this day. And then I would say one of the biggest ones that helped me as well at that time, that helped, that was a trifecta, was Azralin, who's pretty big Dead by Daylight streamer herself over on the YouTube side, where she rated me, I think, total of maybe 2-3 times within the 1 to 2 month period that I'd seen. Who's also another nice Canadian as well, if you guys didn't know. Because again, just sitting here and chilling with my friends, and at the same time getting raided just straight out of nowhere. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is happening, I'm getting raided. I just sitting there in shock, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to do with it. But I owe a lot to those three. That because of them I didn't give up. And because of them, I was able to make it here to this day, to where I am. That I've met amazing people through them. Through Cammy, I met Leviathan Vaughn, what we call Levi. That we've become really, really good friends over time. Still to this day, that we play games together, we make content together. Someone would probably call one of my best friends out there in the content creation business. Through Kiki, I talked to Kago, Troster, never, Kazuma, Hybrid. A lot of people that I met, Strubs, if you ever listen to this, I don't know. There's just a lot of people I've meet in different communities, that enjoy, um, you know, just a different entity coming into their communities. And through Aslan, I would say the most instrumental person and was Cyclo. And because of Cyclo, I would say the reason why I felt like I've succeeded into reinventing myself as a streamer was because he brought another platform to me. He DM'd me one day and said, Epic, I think you should give D Live a try. And, I was uncertain about it because I've never heard of D Live. I don't know what D Live is. But, he was willing to break down all the information that he knew about D Live because Cyclo is a friend and mod of Azraelin. And so Cyclo, after the raid, like Cyclo would frequent into the streams and stuff like that because I was also Dead by Daylight streamer, I guess someone to relate with and stuff like that. So after that I was just like I don't know, because I think he DM'd me all that in like November or like December-ish. And it took me about a month to kind of sit on that because I was like D Live, I've never heard of it. It was new at the time too. Like it was still going through like an identity process, I guess. It wasn't a crisis, but it's just like, it's struggling to build its identity at that point. So when Cyclo broke it down to me, it was just like, D Live is a brand new platform. Like a lot of people who are on it are brand new people who have struggled on different platforms like myself. Instead, because if you're struggling to pull up numbers on Twitch and YouTube, I would say try D Live, because D Live, everyone's new. It's like a new ball game over there. And I felt like the spark of resurgence that happened on the YouTube, I was just sitting there, I was like, I'll play here for a little bit, I'll think about the idea, and I'll get back to it. And then so I kept an eye on my numbers. Again, numbers. As solid as we saw a spike because of the raids, but I felt like, and then over time, you monitor these numbers and say, don't hope for raids all the time. Now, I'm not saying that I did. I got lucky. But you're always wanting to, try to recapture that magic, and just hoping that people just pop in and you can just kind of put their butts in the seats. So after watching the numbers, kind of dwindle a little bit, and just almost heading back to where we were, I sat back and I looked at Cyclo's message and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to D Live. I didn't broadcast it right away, but I had the pleasure of going into there and just watching the streamers over there, whom were, I guess, in their own rights, big deals at the time when I went there, and just watching them do work. Because I want to know how these guys vibe in the community. I want to know how the interactions with the chats go. And so I've had a, let's just say I'm going to throw some names in there. I watch Axie do her art streams over there. I watch Wee Natty play COD over there. And I watch Rook play Resident Evil. And a lot of them that I've stopped by were, really, really great people, who, are polarizing in their own rights, that had people, frequent their streams enough that they sat there for a while, because as new as D Live was at the time, it wasn't months new. That thing was like a year new, and these people have been sitting there since the beginning, since the inception of the platform, and just kept on it and just kept grinding. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take the chance. I'm gonna make a jump. And so, I tried multicasting. I tried going on D Live, as well as YouTube and as well as Twitch. And then I've never looked back after that. And I always try to just, as we got the regulars coming back to YouTube. We peaked at a certain number, but I felt like over time I've compared my numbers. I've looked at the growth there over on the D Live side, where I saw a lot more frequent numbers return and a lot of frequent people return. And a lot of people who supported me over on Twitch and YouTube would actually follow me over to D Live. And it wasn't a big number, it was literally just like a handful of people. But that handful of people did come over and support my decision of my journey to trying something new. Because of that, as a content creator, 3.5 years strong, now we're up there. We're the OGs of the platform. We've reached milestones and we've smashed a lot of goals. I not only did I think in my wildest dreams that in 2-3 months of being a content creator on a new platform that I've reached partnership, but we did. We smashed the follower goal. We've reached the amount of stream hours streamed, the amount of days streamed. It was something else to having a lot of people whom I've met over the D Live platform, where I have made wonderful friendships with, supported me from that time till now, till today. A lot of opportunities, that I had the role, that was a pleasure to roll with. Relationships, whether it be just with different communities, or building new friendships. A Discord server that averaged with just 3 of us, with just me, Benny, and Gal, to now just and it may not be a big number, but it's 100 people now, where I never thought that making a jump and building relationships with such amazing people was going to be something that I was going to do with my life. You know what I mean? And it all goes towards just perseverance and pushing and improving, where it doesn't matter where you are on the echelon. It doesn't matter if you're pulling in 0 viewers or 20 or 2,000. You have the ability to grow. You have the ability to be relatable. You just need to keep on the grind. Stay humble, stay hungry. Don't settle. The moment you felt like you've reached your goals and the moment you feel like you've plateaued is the moment you're going to let your guard down. Always go in with the mindset of growing every single day, because you owe that to yourself. You owe that to your community. Always check out with people. Even if they stop by for a day, There are people that and then sometimes I guess the sad part about just seeing zeros on your stream, but also watching your numbers go down. So for example, I would say recently my YouTube channel went from 319 subscribers to about 316. I lost 3. I probably lost more than that, actually. I've gained a bit, but still lost. a lot of people still look at these numbers, even big YouTubers to this day, and just say, you know, we're losing numbers, we're losing views, and why is that? You know, sometimes I look at it and it's just like, okay, well, you know, there you go, numbers go up again and numbers go down again. Like, you know, when we were uploading Among Us videos, I saw a huge spike in like increase, and then when we stopped, and I guess like, you know, where the consistency in the uploads went down because I haven't uploaded anything in a while, that I saw, you know, the drop in subscribers to the channel. Yeah, it's a little hard and a little different because like for me, like, you know, I don't know where to improve at this point. I'm just like, you know, it's probably something in the content that they don't like. Maybe there's they like more Among Us videos, you know, but there's only so much that you can do for yourself before you say, you know what, I'm probably a little sick of Among Us, where like, you know, I can only play that game so much and build so much content out of it. Or, you know, try something new, take a chance with it. But don't fret about it, don't worry about it, because like, you know, again, it's either you or your content. It's not always for everybody, and that's fine. Because while it doesn't work for that one person, it could be for another person. They just haven't stumbled into your community yet. Numbers for viewership, you know, for your live streams, you know, whether they drop or whether they grow. You know, sometimes it's game dependent, sometimes it's a game that not everybody likes, and that's fine. The one thing we can definitely tell you about being a content creator or being a streamer is play the games you want to play. Even if there's a drop in viewership, but you would just want to do something you like, do it. If you want to play DDR in front of 3 people for 2 hours, do it. And then the next day you can go back to playing Dead by Daylight in front of 20 viewers. Because, like, you know, you just want to do the things you want to do. The only other thing I would say that bothers me, number-wise, Twitter. Twitter is such a toxic place. Such a toxic place. And if you guys are thinking about, like, saying, like, you know, I want to open up a Twitter because, like, you know, I want to keep up the conversation, it's fine. You can do it. The one thing I can definitely say about my Twitter is just, like, you know, the number of followers keep rising and keep dropping. It's the same thing as like the YouTube algorithm, where it's just like you're gonna have random people stop by and give you the follow, and then they're just gonna drop for no apparent reason. And it's a lot of people get annoyed by it. It annoys me, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't let it get to me, because I just make a meme out of it at that point. I'm just like, oh, look, we got a new follower, and I'm probably give it another week before they disappear. I just kind of make a game out of it at a point. But, you know, again, I guess, like, you know, to wrap things up right here, in terms of numbers, in terms of growth, in terms of advice, is stay humble, stay hungry, be honest. You know, keep on the grind. Don't give up. Support other people. Network. And don't be an asshole. Be that source of morality for somebody. Because we're all growing together. You know, don't turn your backs on the youth of tomorrow. Because these people are going to grow up to become something. You know, these people are going to grow up to become amazing people. And you could be the reason why they get to that spot today. You know, don't stop growing. Don't stop learning. Don't settle. Don't worry too much about your numbers. Do what you want to do. Do what you love to do. Do it on your own terms. And you guys will be just fine. You know, I'm happy to have made the relationships that I've had over time. You know, with the people that I play games with to this day. You know, I'm proud to call my best friends in the entire world. People who hold, like, you know, a really big spot in my heart. You know, big special thanks and shout outs to everyone, you know, whether you're a streamer, whether you're a viewer, a follower, a subscriber, a passerby, or someone who have left the community ages ago because, you know, it wasn't doing it for them, but decided to come back and just wanted to see what's up. You know, I don't hold any grudges. You know, I don't, you know, don't curse names to high heavens or anything like that. The only one thing that I can always say, like, you know, to people who drop out in viewership, who drop out of followership, subscriber, whatever it may be, people have their reasons for doing so, and it's fine. Let them do it. Let them go. You know, but the one thing that sits in the back of my mind that I want to ask people, like, you know, if you ever happen to hear this, it's like, I hope you're doing well. You know, I hope in life that, you know, things are going really, really well for you. And that, like, you know, the point of time, like, you know, where you came into streams and, you know, were enjoying your stuff like that, that you're out there enjoying something else, working hard, and just being amazing. You know, and you might have heard everything and you're saying, but Epic, what about the haters out there? You don't acknowledge them. That's it. You know, you don't acknowledge the negatives. You don't have to talk about the negatives because it doesn't matter. And with that, I'm going to close this podcast out. You know, for those who are new to the channel, for those who are new to the podcast, if you guys have enjoyed the content that you guys have been listening to here today, please leave a like on the video. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you guys want to watch me do my live stream, you can and will see me either on twitch.tv /Epikism with an underscore afterwards. And of course on my big home on DLive, so at dlive.tv /Epikism. You can catch me at those two places where I stream. And, you know, if you want to become a part of an amazing community, the Epic family and the Fam Jammers, it doesn't get any better than that, guys. Like, I'm not saying this for clout, and I'm not saying this to inflate some egos, but I feel like, you know, we do have one of the greatest communities out there in any streaming platform. For those who want to feel welcomed without being judged, you know, without feeling like, you know, like a sense of insecurity, guys, we welcome you guys. We will welcome you guys. You guys will have a home in this community, and we look forward to seeing you there. And until again, guys, this has been E to the PIK Epikimida, even though the idol gimmick is dead. But it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys more on, you know, whether it be a YouTube video or a live broadcast. Stop by live, man. I would love to see you guys there. And that's it. Epic out.